Good day, wizards, and welcome to today's lesson, Playing Games. In this lesson, we will focus on listen to a story about games, verbs and verb moods, and also future tenses and word divisions. Let's begin with listen and speak. Have older people ever taught you about games they played when they were young? There are some games that have been played for a long time. All games have their own instructions about how they are played. Read the following passage about traditional games. Traditional games. Cruz from Mexico remembers playing a game called Sun and Ice. When I was a child, I liked to play a game called Sun and Ice. To play, you form two teams. When the player in one team touch you and say freeze, you can't move. You stand still until one of the players in your team touches you and says sun. Then you are free to run again. Eng.Gr4.T2.L4.1 from Turkey played a favorite game called Eng.Gr4.T2.L4.1. The game is played by 5 to 10 children. One person is it. The eyes of that child are covered with a blindfold. The blindfolded person tries to catch the other players. If someone is caught, that child becomes the new it, and the game starts over. Now, after you have listened to the story, number 1, what 2 countries are mentioned in the text? What are the names of the games described in the story? Number 3, describe how they are played. Now let's continue to language practice. Verbs, auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are verbs that help the main verb. Auxiliary verbs are am, be, can, could, does, had, has, have, is, may, might, shall, should, was, were, will, and would. Let's look at mood of verbs. The mood of the verb tells us the speaker's intentions or what they want to do. Verbs can be statements of facts. For example, I always play soccer on Sunday. Commands or instructions. Example, my coach said, hit the ball harder. Sometimes verbs show when something is unlikely to happen. For example, if I practice more, I might get in the team. Future tense. The future tense describes what will happen in the future. Look at these examples. Example, he ran across the field. He runs across the field. He will run across the field. She lived near the stadium. She lives near the stadium. She will live near the stadium.